Well, good morning. Happy Saturday to you. We're here for another episode of the Unforgettable Live Show, Unforgettable Design Live Show. My name is Phil Mershon. So today I want to talk about customer experience. Have you ever felt like you were invisible when you walked into a restaurant or a hotel? I'm not going to forget this experience for a long time. I was standing at a hotel desk waiting for someone to wait on me. And behind me, there was a table with four people who clearly worked at the hotel. And they were happily eating their lunch, munching away, ignoring me. Nobody was waiting on me. I stood there for several minutes until finally a manager, actually a trainer, walks out from a back room and says, "Hello, Mr. Mershon. We're so excited to see you. How can I help you?" And then she turned my experience around, but I was able to catch her later on and say that was an awkward experience standing there when there's hotel staff clearly there who could have gone and found you. Instead, they left me waiting for you for 5 minutes. And that kind of was a picture of my customer experience in that particular hotel. And it turned out that trainer was there because this was a hotel in need of some remedial training. They'd had a massive turnover in staff. The manager was new on the job, was overwhelmed with what she was doing, and they weren't creating a great customer experience. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever walked into a restaurant, a store, or an event and felt like you were invisible? When we walk through registration at events, sometimes that's the feeling I get. Like you get your badge and they're maybe excited to see you, or maybe you're an inconvenience. I've had that happen more than once, but you get to the other side. Now you're in the event and you feel like nobody knows you're there. Like, okay, what do I do now? It's as if the event organizers said, well, we put it all in the manual or we put it all in the app. You should be able to figure it out yourself. You're smart. Well, when there's 1,000 inputs looking for your attention, it makes you feel dumb, whether you have a PhD, a master's degree, a bachelor's, or no degree. It doesn't matter because you haven't made it easy for the person. I think one of the ways that we solve this is we train our staff to be on the lookout for people who are feeling invisible and make sure that they feel seen right in that moment. Make sure that they feel like they belong. And so that's a matter of training staff to look out for that, to greet them with purpose. One of the experiences I'll never forget is going to an Eddie V's restaurant in San Diego. And I went in there and they greet you warmly at the front desk and they make sure that you have a good seat. But when the experience changed for me was when I went back up there and said, "Hey, can you tell me where the bathrooms are?" Now, normally that is a time when people will say, "Well, you go down this hall, turn left, and they'll be right there." But instead of that, the lady at the front desk said, "It's a little bit confusing. Do you mind if I lead you there?" And I said, "Absolutely." And she was right. It was a bit of a maze to get from the front desk to the bathrooms. Now I can picture it in my mind, but at the time I would have never found it. So she led me all the way back to where the bathrooms were and said, "Here you go, Mr. Mershon." And at that point, I felt very happy that she had made that job easier for me because it would have been hard to explain in words. Those are the kinds of experiences we can create at events. If we have staff that are trained to look people in the eye, to smile, to get to know them, to make them feel like they really belong at your event, and then to not just point, to lead them to where they need to go, to make the warm introductions to the people that maybe they're wanting to meet. Those are the kinds of experiences people are looking for, and then they're not going to feel invisible. Feeling invisible, no matter how important you are, belittles you, makes you feel like I'm not important. They don't really care about me. And I'm here to tell you a lot of information does not make someone feel like they're in the know. They want answers to the questions they have right there. And it might be very satisfactory to know that it's right there in the mobile app. But when you're in a point of confusion, having staff ready to help is so important. I remember going to another event at a large convention center in a different city. It wasn't in San Diego. And the building to me was very confusing, finding my way around it. The map was not obvious in my brain. It wasn't a bunch of rectangles, it was a bunch of angles, and I could not find my way around. So I stopped and I asked a venue staff person for directions. And they thought that I was stupid, that I couldn't find my way around. Literally, they treated me as if I was dumb. They said that oh, that's so easy. You should be able to find your way there. And so, I had to find my way around and I looked at maps and I tried to make sense out of it. And I did finally make my way there because after you spend enough steps, you will find your way around even the largest of buildings. But that cued me into it's not only the staff that you train that you have control over, it's also the venue staff that you want to have good partnerships. And one of the things I've loved about the San Diego Convention Center is their mindset is customer service first. We have stories where people on the convention center staff will stop what they're doing and help one of our customers get from point A to point B because they're clearly lost. And I love it when I have partnerships like that. And I think we all do as well. So this is all a set of conversations about how do we help someone feel visible when the propensity might be to feel invisible. Now, I'm not talking about the people who want to remain invisible and maybe experience your event, your venue in a very quiet, passive kind of way until they feel comfortable. Sometimes the neurodivergent, they want to enter in a much slower way. Maybe there's not as much loud noises, the boisterous greetings, the music. They want to experience your event in a different way. We'll have a conversation about that on another day. I might even bring an expert in to talk about that on one of these Saturday mornings. But today I wanted to leave that thought of think about the experience your customers are having, especially when they first walk in. When they first walk in, like think about a restaurant you've been to recently and what that experience is like when you walk in and there's someone there to greet you right away versus when you walk in and you're left to figure out how do I find someone to get my name on the list and do they even care? Are they so busy that they don't care? I love it when there's someone at the door that has greeted me before I ever even get there who's explaining, hey, Phil, Mr. Mershon, whatever, if they know my name, go to that desk right over there, get your name on the list. Looks like right now we have wait times of about 20 to 30 minutes. Is that okay? Or whatever the case might be. The more information, the better. The ability to say you can wait at the bar, or we've got seating outside, or you can leave your number with us. And if it's going to be an hour or more, we'll text you when your table's about ready and you can come back. That makes you feel so much better, less like you're a nuisance, more like they understand what it's like to be in your shoes. That sets the tone for the rest of the experience. So, thinking about that first experience when it's likely that someone is going to feel invisible, how do you make them feel visible, seen, known, appreciated, like they are part of the community? The quicker you can do that, the better. My name is Phil Mershon, and this has been an unforgettable experience moment. If you've got any questions, please reach out to me. You can find me on all the socials. I am Phil Mershon.